There's a huge piece missing in the pandemic coronavirus conversation, and that is, what are the helping agencies and resources available to get people the help that they need once unemployment runs out? Hey y'all, I'm Jeremy Chavez, aka Health and Wealth Chica. I talk about all things money. My passion is to help you manage your money like a boss so you can live your best life. But in this particular video, I am going to give you 3 specific resources that I think everyone should know about so that you, your friends, and your family can get through these tough times. And that'll be coming up next.
Okay, so the problem that I'm seeing all too often as a financial counselor is that people are suffering more than they need to be, not because they can't qualify for specific programs and resources out there, but it's rather that they are not aware of these programs to begin with. So we're going to change that today for you that are watching. We're going to change that for you and your friends and your family, because you might not be the one that has been laid off of work or your hours have not been reduced, but maybe it's your neighbor, maybe it's your mother, your uncle, somebody at church that you know, and you'll be able to pass on this information. So as you can see, I've brought you to the 211.org website, where I'm going to give you a tour of the website so that you're aware of it. You know what kind of resources you can find here. And this is one that I don't want you to forget, like ever. Even if you don't think you know somebody who could use this, eventually somewhere down the line, life happens and you might run into somebody, it could even possibly be you, that could use some of the resources here, okay? So what I do want you to remember is 211. Now, obviously there's a website and there's also a phone number that you can call. You simply pick up the phone, 211. Those 3 little numbers are going to get you connected to somebody on the other side that is going to walk you through and help you find what you need. So one thing I wanted to do first is go ahead and go to the bottom here and show you that on the bottom right hand corner, this is a United Way organization. And United Way is a nonprofit, and they provide so many different resources and services. The best way that they do that is by partnering up with community partners. So if you want to know about different partners they partner with, you can go there and check that out a little bit more. Oh, here's the call 211 phone number like I had told you about, and you will talk to somebody that will be able to help you. Accessible 24/7, 365, 180 languages, and when you call, it's completely confidential. Okay, so we'll go ahead back to the top and start from the beginning. So how can we help? Drop down menu, you can see right away there's so many things listed, and under normal circumstances there's going to be crisis and emergency situations in our lives. There will be disasters that happen, right? We'll have essential needs. Maybe we get laid off during non-pandemic coronavirus times. These kinds of things can always happen. So there's so many tabs here that you can go and click on to get more information. But as you can see at the very, very top, we've got the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic resources. So that's why it's so important for you to remember this 211. Sure, there are going to be resources listed in this tab that you can find directly from that program that's going to give you, let's say, food assistance, for example. However, like I said, when you're going through a lot of stress, it's really hard to think through things and have the energy to deal with what you're dealing with, and then also start searching and researching, trying to find out who and where they can help you. So what I wanted to do, instead of clicking there right away, I wanted to go ahead and show you that 211 is available nationwide. So you can go in here and put your zip code in here. So I am going to go ahead and go with this 78234 because I am in the San Antonio, Texas area. So we're just going to use my zip code to go ahead and get started. Okay, so it's showing me my specific 211 website for my specific state. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on that so it can give me more specific information for my neck of the woods. Okay, so as you can see, you can find help in these areas: food, health, housing, and more. So no matter what your question is, what you're looking for, don't hesitate to get in touch with 211 because they are trained and know what kind of questions to ask to get to the bottom of what you might need. So here, for example, you might say something like food, okay? And can you see all the options for food that come up, right? So I am going to go ahead and click on, let me look for a food pantry in my area. My husband's hours have been reduced at work. I'm thankfully still employed. However, we really depended on that extra income. And we're just trying to figure out how we can, stretch our dollars and survive this. So we're going to go ahead and be open-minded. Maybe we've never had to do this before, where we have to go to a food pantry and get some food to supplement our income. However, now is not the time to have these thoughts of, well, I don't know, I don't like the way it would feel for me to go get some free food. I'm usually the one giving free food. Now is not the time to think like this because we are all in the same situation. We're all in the same boat together. So what we need to do instead is realize that the federal government has, through the CARES Act, added a lot more funding to each individual state so that each individual state can use those resources and those federal dollars to support and fund the programs that they have to help people. So there are some food pantries that I've referred some of my clients to that are literally having to throw away fresh produce because not enough people are coming to pick up the food. And so don't shy away from receiving assistance because that's what it's there for times like these. And it's for you if you feel like you aren't able to buy enough food like you usually do. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and enter the zip code again in my neck of the woods, 78234. And I'm going to do a search. Okay, so now what you're seeing is all the resources, and I could have easily called the 201 phone number and had the person on the other end of the phone to assist me with finding these resources. But you can look on your own if that's your preference. So as you can see, there's food pantries at all these different locations. It shows me where they are on the map. It shows me a lot of information that I might need, like their website. Maybe I want to see, okay, well, this place is close to where I live. What are their hours? I want to go check it out. I would advise, though, to go ahead and call them first because they are going to have hours and you don't want to show up too early or too late. And sometimes some of these will ask you to bring some type of maybe identification or maybe just a bill to show that you are from that area. to better serve you. So as you can see, food pantries in my zip code resulted in 3 pages worth of resources. And so 211 is my favorite go-to resource when my clients come to me and they're looking for specific things. So here we're going to go and just do one more search real quick. We're going to go with housing, because now that the moratorium through the CARES Act has expired, meaning that now landlords can evict their tenants for non-payment of their rent, that means that in about 30 days after the move-out notice expires, because landlords should be giving their, well, I know in the state of Texas that the landlords must give their tenants 30 days move-out notice to be able to officially evict them. Your state might be different. However, I am anticipating that people are going to be evicted out of their rentals for non-payment. And so I want you to be aware that you can find housing resources here as well. So just for housing, look at all the different things. Hey, did you know, there's housing down payment grants. So much stuff that you're missing out on simply because you don't know. But that's okay, because you're learning it today. So we've looked at this website, and now I'm pretty confident that you're familiar with the types of services you can find here. We've only looked at 2, but you can see that even just for housing, so many resources pop up. So you can thumb through this if you'd like. The other option, I'm going to go ahead and scroll to the top now and just point out that there is this chat feature here. So you can be able to chat back and forth with somebody if that's more your preference. You can call 211 as mentioned previously, or you can look for resources on your own by using the search feature here. So one of my favorite go-to resources, everybody should know about this. They will point you in the right direction. So for instance, this Your Texas Benefit is its own separate individual website, which we're going to visit next. I know that not everybody watching this is from Texas, and that's okay. The reason why I want to show you this is because every state has its own website similar to this. So what I would encourage you to do is to go to your favorite search engine, I should say, such as Google, and then type in the name of your state. So for example, California, if you live there, and then put social services afterward and hit the enter button and search for your specific state's website. So this website for your state is going to have some resources that everybody should be aware of, because again, many people are hurting and they're going hungry simply because they don't know these benefits exist, and so they don't apply for them. Okay, so on your state website, you should have some options of different services and programs the state can offer you. So in this example, you're going to see that you have the SNAP food benefits program that you can learn more about, and then you can try to qualify for that program if you're interested in food benefits. Also, there's TANF cash help for needy families. There's healthcare you can get from your state if you don't have any healthcare coverage. And there's other additional support services, and then the WIC food benefits program. So I wanted to show you this website simply because your state might be similar to Texas state, where you can fill out one application. Let's say you're an expecting mom, and you know that you've heard about this program, the Women and Infant and Children's Program. It's a food program, and you decide, okay, I want to see if I can actually qualify for this. Well, if you end up applying for this, one benefit application will screen you for all the other programs, which I think is really, really good. So, again, find your state's website by simply putting in the state name plus social services after it in your favorite Google search engine, any search engine you like, to find your states. Before I get out of this website, I did want to, since I'm already here, point out that there is a pandemic electronic benefit for people who have kids, school age kids, and they can get an additional $285 per child who qualifies if they were on the free or reduced lunch program at their school. And so many states have already expired with this type of a program. But as you can see here, Texas, since we've been hit pretty hard, they have decided to extend the deadline to apply for this benefit until
July 31st.
And so you have pretty much a few more days. If you haven't already heard of this program and you know that your kids were on a free or reduced lunch at school, then you must apply for this before the deadline to get it on this website. So what I would say also is you already received your payment. If you were on the SNAP food benefit program to begin with, it would have automatically been put into your card. And here in the state of Texas, they call it the Lone Star card for SNAP food benefits, but it is a federal program. And so every state has a version of SNAP, and definitely check out your state's page for that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of this, but this is a super resource for you to have, especially during hard times. Please know that the state has a ton of resources and programs to help people. Okay, now finally, this is the third resource out of the three that I wanted to show you today. And of course, I'm only giving you a basic overview of these resources. Again, I encourage you to go and visit these on your own, take your time, see what's available, see what might be helpful for you, your friends, or your family, so you can share that information around. And I will make sure to put the links of these websites that we visited today down in the description, so you can go ahead and make it easier for you to look at these some more. We're going to end with this third resource, which is departmentoflabor.gov. So the Department of Labor is an agency of the federal government that oversees everything that has to do with labor in the country, like employers, employees, rules and regulations, and so, labor laws, all that good stuff. Why I came to this website and why I think you should know about it is because as an employee, sometimes we don't get all of what benefit we would qualify for simply because we don't know our rights. And the pandemic, coronavirus, it's a new thing that even your employers are having to adapt to all these new laws and all these changes that came out of me as a result of the CARES Act. So, if your employer feels like they're giving you a hard time, it might not be that. It might be that they simply don't know. So it's really helpful for you to be empowered with some information and knowledge about your rights and benefits as well. So I come to this website, www.dol.gov, to show you this featured story here, because this is a resource that I refer to often when clients come to me with questions or concerns about their rights as an employee. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this right now so that we can go straight to the article and learn more. Let me optimize this a little so you can see it better. Okay, so under the CARES Act, there was this Families First Coronavirus Response Act that gave paid leave. So we're going to go ahead and realize that it's referred to as the FFCRA. And so we're going to go ahead right down to this fact sheet. It's called Families First Coronavirus Response Act, Employee Paid Leave Rights. And also, employers have rights too, so they might want to have a look at that PDF. But for you, you're going to go ahead and click here and read some more about how you can be paid and your rights under certain circumstances because of COVID. What's nice is that this is going to be in effect through December 31st, 2020, when there's so many protections under the CARES Act that have already expired. It's good to know that this actually lasts to the end of the year. But we are hopeful, though, that Congress and Senate will finally come to an agreement, and there will be more extensions or new package so that those things that had expired, like the housing moratorium that I had mentioned briefly earlier, can be renewed, extended. Okay, so right now I'm just going to show you a couple of these main bullets, but generally you're covered for 2 weeks up to 80 hours of paid sick leave at the employee's regular rate of pay where the employee is unable to work because the employee is quarantined and or experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, and you're actually seeking a medical diagnosis and you're going out and getting tested. And then the second bullet is the 2 weeks up to 80 hours of paid sick leave at 2/3 the employee's regular rate of pay because the employee is unable to work because of bona fide need to care for an individual that is subject to quarantine. So you are able to care for your child or somebody in your family under the age of 18 whose school or child care provider is closed or unavailable for reasons related to COVID-19, and or the employee is experiencing a substantial similar condition as specified by the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Okay, and then lastly, up to an additional 10 weeks of paid expanded family and medical leave at 2/3 the employee's regular rate of pay where an employee who has been employed for at least 30 calendar days is unable to work due to a bona fide need for leave to care for a child whose school or child care provider is closed or unavailable for reasons related to COVID-19. And so it talks about who are the covered employers that must follow this law, and it generally applies to employers with over 500 employees, although it does talk about smaller employers here, and there could be here where there could be some exceptions. But again, we don't get the benefits we should get sometimes simply because we don't know what's available, what our rights are. So this I thought was a simple, nice fact sheet for you to have if you felt like you're entitled to this, but maybe your employer is not cooperating with you. It would be great to be able to show them on here how you believe that you are qualified or eligible, and so you can have a very productive conversation. So I've shown you the 3 top resources that I think everybody should know about. I will link those websites into the description, and I will meet you back in a second for final words.
Whew, that was a whole lot of information, and I realize it, but I'm glad that you stuck around to the end. Those are simply 3 out of the many, many resources that are out there and available to you. And so I would like for you to drop a comment and let me know what resource you think is going to benefit you, your family, or friend the most. And then also feel free to hit a like or a subscribe, because I will be bringing to you weekly content that will help you learn how to manage your money like a boss so you can live your best life. So I look forward to reading the comments, drop questions as well, and I'll see you next time. Health and wealth be with you.